Welcome. My name is Christy Trammell. I'm with the Three Rivers Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here with Jared Hoffmaster today, who is running for the St. Joseph County Commission seat. And we have provided him with some questions in advance that I'll review for you. The questions include: introduce yourself and tell us why did you choose to run for this office? What do you hope to accomplish while in office? And what do you bring to the table that sets you apart from the other candidates? So I'll turn it over to Jared, and he's going to answer those questions, and then I'll come back with a few additional questions.
Well, thank you, Christy. I appreciate this, and I appreciate the Three Rivers Area Chamber of Commerce putting this together and giving us an opportunity to talk about what's important to us and our candidacy. Like you said, my name's Jared Hoffmaster, and I'm running for 1st District County Commissioner, and that encompasses the City of Three Rivers, Fabius, and Flowerfield Township residents. I've been a lifelong Three Rivers resident. I was born and raised in Three Rivers. Grew up just north of the Elks Club, downtown Three Rivers. Graduated from Andrews Elementary, where Dan Ryan was my esteemed principal. So I was born and raised in Three Rivers, graduated from Three Rivers High School, married my high school sweetheart, Beth James, the James family there, and am really proud of where I come from. Went to Grand Valley State University, got my degree in finance and marketing. Came back, started my career with American Express as a financial advisor, came to First National Bank, where my grandfather, back in the 70s and 80s, was the executive vice president of First National Bank. A lot of people in town know Nelson Hoffmaster. Came back, worked for First National Bank for a couple years, and then Century Bank and Trust asked me to come over. They were building the new building on Broadway and 131. Asked me to come over and help them with their trust department. So I've been here since 2010. So I've been in banking for over 15 years, specifically in wealth management. So I work with customers on a daily basis, helping them manage their wealth, invest in the stock, bond market, that type of thing. So, which is nice. But have 3 little ones. I got a 13-year-old, going to be 12-year-old, and going to be 10-year-old. So kind of spread out a little bit there, but and heavily invested in this community, and hoping to make some positive impact on our community. So that's a little bit about me. I know you asked, why are you running for office? That's a good question. I was always taught growing up that you should leave it better than you found it, and my parents kind of taught me that valuable lesson, and it applies to if you're gonna, rake the infield of a softball diamond after practice, or if you're cleaning up the locker room after a football game. You want to leave it better than you found it, and I think that principle applies to our community as well. Like I said, I have 3 little ones that I hope to be successful in society. I hope they move back to Three Rivers. I hope they move back to St. Joseph County after they do whatever they're doing and raising their families. And I hope to have a positive impact on our community to encourage them to do that. And I hope to leave St. Joseph County better than I found it. And being a part of the decision-making and impacting our community in a positive way is an important part of that. I don't know if people realize it or not, but there's a lot of decisions made at the county level. The county commission does that greatly affect their daily lives. And part of the reason why I'm running for office is I want to meet people where they are, So if we at a county level are making decisions on the Commission on Aging, I want to be able to pick up the phone and call Tim Stoll. He's a fellow Rotarian. I have a close relationship with him. Make sure I get input from him and from his customers, those who utilize the COA, and make sure that the decisions we're making at the county level are smart, thoughtful, positive decisions that are going to positively impact those people. So I want to make sure that I'm getting good quality advice and information from those people who are directly impacted by our decisions. So, and that goes across the board. I was endorsed by Sheriff Brad Bulk, which I greatly appreciate. I have a good relationship with Sheriff Lillywhite and Under Sheriff Bingaman, and the law enforcement in our community. And if we are going to have that discussion of, police funding or the roles and responsibility of law enforcement in St. Joseph County, I want to make sure that they have a seat at the table and that they have input in what those decisions are going to look like, so that, again, we can make thoughtful decisions and do it in a very practical way. So, and it goes for Stoney Summy at the Veterans Affairs Office, and James McDonald as far as the parks. So, I have a large network. I'm very close with a lot of those individuals, and I feel like that I can make a big impact in a positive way on those different departments and make sure that we're making thoughtful decisions. So, a little bit of why I'm running. I want to have a positive impact on our community that I'm so proud of. What do you want to accomplish in office? So what do I want to accomplish in office? So when my time is done as a county commissioner, again, I hope I leave it better than I found it. I think that at a county level, we're doing a wonderful job as it is. And I think our law enforcement is doing a wonderful job as it is. But when it's all said and done, I really do want to focus on bringing in good quality jobs to our community, good quality families to our community. I know, Christy, you and I have talked about at a chamber level about what we can do as far as bringing in good quality employers so that people have, a nice wage and that they can spend it in our community. How do we attract individuals so that our economy can grow and thrive? So my big focus is definitely going to be on trying to actively solicit good employers to our community, good commercial businesses. Super proud that Culver's just went in. I know my kids are extremely grateful that that's in, but that's just a small taste, obviously. But I really, I know I have a biased opinion of our county, and I think it's a wonderful. I'm so proud of it, and I hope that we can actively solicit others to join us in St. Joseph County and make it even better. And we are, and like I've said this before in other videos, we are actively competing against Kalamazoo County, against Branch County, against Cass County, against counties in Indiana. We need to actively go after these businesses to come to our community and make sure that we have quality jobs for our residents and quality places for them to visit. We have natural resources that are second to none, and James McDonald and the Parks Department have done an amazing job. And now we need to showcase those and make sure that others see that as well. So I'm very excited about that. What do you bring to the table that maybe other candidates don't bring? And I've kind of spoke about this in other videos as well too. So I was a city commissioner, first district city commissioner. I was very proud to serve the city of Three Rivers for 6 years as a city commissioner. I am currently the Three Rivers Area Community Foundation president, where we are helping fund nonprofits with grants. When we went through COVID-19, we were doing grants to individual families that maybe were on hard times. That's a fantastic organization, something that I'm very proud to serve. The board is amazing, all volunteer, but they work their butts off to better our community, and I'm proud to lead up that organization. I was past president of Three Rivers Rotary, still a member, past president. I was proud to lead that organization. So ultimately, I think a couple things that separate me from other candidates is my leadership experience and ability. I think anybody who knows me in this community knows that I'm a go-getter. I'm goal-oriented. So I set goals and I try as hard as I can to accomplish them. So you'll never kind of see me resting on my laurels. I definitely want to actively try to make our community better. And I have an open door. I mean, I'm very accessible. You'll see me at Meyer. Trust me, and I get pulled to the side and get an earful from quite a few people on different topics. And I appreciate that. And I take it into consideration when I am making decisions in the different leadership roles that I'm actively involved in our community. So I think I'm thoughtful in my decision-making. You might not always agree with me, and that's okay. I don't mind that. But you'll know that there was a lot of research and effort that went into the decision that I come around to. So I think that is also what separates me as well, is that I'm very accessible. You'll see me at the kids' softball games. You'll see me at the school dropping them off. I mean, I'm all over the community. So I really appreciate that. But kind of a little bit that separates me, I guess.
Okay. Well, I have 2 questions for you that we want to see what your feelings are on these. With the likely cut in state revenue sharing and decreased local property tax revenue, what departments or projects do you see being cut?
That's a good question, and a hard one, because obviously it directly affects people's lives and, their livelihood. We are going to, because of the essential grinding to a halt of our economy, local municipalities are going to see a cut in funding. And our leadership needs to be thoughtful in going through the process of figuring out where our priorities are. I think that's probably a better question left answered once I do get to that level and I can go through the budget and figure out kind of maybe if there's some extra areas that we have, some maybe priorities that we have as opposed to others. But I personally think that, again, it goes back to my point of economic growth. I hope to be able to grow out of this. If we can attract companies, employers, and have the amenities that attract them to our community, then we can raise, the tide and the revenue and not have to make such drastic cuts, with the different departments. But it's something that we're going to have to, as a community, definitely dissect and look through. And maybe it's not even cutting, say wages or positions. Maybe it's just trimming the fat on some of the expenses that the different departments have. I know we just sat through a Rotary meeting with James McDonald, and he was talking about all these amazing things that the Parks Department are doing with refurbished material. They're doing labor themselves. They're not hiring it out or contracting it out. So they're doing a lot with a little. And, maybe that's a different way to look at it with the different departments that we have, is how can we get a little bit creative and find out where we can, essentially get the most out of what we have.
Thank you. One more question. With decreased discretionary funds available to the county, is it time for local jurisdictions to step up and put money into the roads that the commission has funded for the last couple of years?
Another good question. These are hard questions, Ms. Christie. These are good. So that's another good question, and this is something that I've thought about quite a bit. So I know right now that the different municipalities are asking, or actually the road commission and the county are asking different municipalities to have some skin in the game. And I agree with that 100%. I live in Fabius Township. Supervisor John Krogel is a very thoughtful leader, and he, has gone through the effort of saying, hey, if we want Broadway redone, if we want Coon Hollow, if we want Hoffman, we'll pony up as a township and, put some resources towards that. It's a priority for our citizens. So I do think that the different municipalities should have skin in the game. The city of Three Rivers is one of the three districts that I would represent. The city of Three Rivers already has a millage so that they can pave their roads and sidewalks. They have a streets and sidewalks millage, so they're already a part of that. Fabius is a part of that. Flowerfield, another district that I represent, I would encourage to also be a part of that. But I think it does a couple things. One, it lessens the burden. There is only so much, the pot is only filled so much. We only have so much resources. So if we are truly wanting to fix the darn roads, we need to have some skin in the game outside of, obviously, our St. Joseph, our road commission tax dollars. We need to have the municipalities come in and say, hey, this is a priority. And it's such a priority that we're willing to kick in some resources to help get it done and to fund it. So I am an advocate for that.
Okay. Well, Jared, thank you so much for joining me. For all the viewers, I want to remind you that we have a primary election coming up in August on the 4th, and then the general election November 3rd. Please get out and vote. This is our community, and we want it represented well. So, Jared, thank you for running for County Commission. We wish you the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Christy.